Hey, Riley J2 right here, back with another episode of Ranting with Riley J2A, or Riley J Rants, or a better name that I haven't came up with yet. Working progress. We'll see. Anyway, series I started recently where I, get less professional. Not that I'm that professional, anyways, but usually I try to keep stay calm, look at facts. In this series, I do the opposite of that. I pretty much just talk about my opinion on a particular issue, get a little heated, rant, hence the name there. And, I pretty much just talk for a few minutes about a topic that I, don't really like. You pretty much just complain, whatever topic that may be, around Second Amendment issues of some sort, usually, right? So on this episode, I'm going to talk about the gun snob, right, or the Second Amendment snob. I think we all know right there what kind of person I'm talking about. So yeah, that's the type of person I'm going to rant about a little bit today. So we're going to get right into that. It's snowing for some reason. Not great. Anyway, going to get into it. Okay, so the gun snob, right? That's the topic at hand here. I'm kind of talking about the person who, you know, I'm mainly going to talk to this in terms of gear and equipment. Um, that's or mostly like guns and or caliber choices is mainly what I'm going to talk about. This does apply to everything and anything to do with the Second Amendment, though, right down to what gun groups you support. You know, this pretty much applies to anything. I'm mainly going to be talking about calibers and firearm platforms a little bit, but mainly calibers because that's mainly where I see this, right. This type of behavior from the gun snob type of person. I'm going to also say that I'm not talking about making fun of somebody, making fun of you, poking a little fun, right? I'm not talking about that. It's perfectly fine if you want to make fun of somebody a little bit, do it, right? But I'm talking more about the person who absolutely just dismisses somebody. It's like, no, fuck you, man. I don't want to hear from you, right? They just don't take a person seriously at all because of whatever they're using. Like, let's say we're talking about a person who chooses to use 40 Smith and Wesson, right? Because apparently a lot of people don't like that caliber. So somebody who rolls in with their 40 Smith and Wesson, maybe it's a Glock chambered in that, right? And there's somebody over there with a 9 millimeter, their 45, whatever it is, and it's absolutely not taking this person seriously at all because of their caliber choice, right? Or maybe somebody rolls in with an AK and this guy prefers ARs, whatever the situation may be, right? Um, that's what I'm talking about, right? Just completely dismissing somebody, just not taking somebody seriously because of what they're running. Again, that's what I'm talking about. Not talking about poking a little fun with your buddies. That's all good, right? So get that out of the way. Now getting into the problem I have with this, because you might be thinking like, oh, like obviously this person has the right to their opinion and they don't have to be nice to people and whatnot. Of course, that's all facts, right? The issue I have is that you are. So I made a video before, right, about the divide in the Second Amendment community. The community is heavily divided. This whole community, right? There's tons of different, subgroups of people that all fall under the umbrella of Second Amendment community, but very divided, very splintered community, I would say. That's a problem. We'd be way stronger if we weren't so divided. We're already outnumbered, right? People already hate us and want to take our rights and whatnot. So be way better if we weren't so divided. Is my point. if you're out here doing this shit where you're just absolutely like, oh fuck you, man, you use 40 Smith and Wesson, um, that is actively contributing to the divide in the Second Amendment community. So not only are you not really benefiting yourself in any way, you're not helping the Second Amendment community. Not only are you not helping the community, you're in fact hurting the Second Amendment community by doing this. So the question I would ask is simply why, right? Why would you feel the need to do this, right? Because here's two people who would be on the same side. They might even be buddies in this hypothetical scenario, right? Um, but the only issue is the fact that one of them doesn't agree with the other's choices in what they're using, right? And it doesn't matter. Nobody's forcing him to use these items or make those choices. Live and let live, right? It ain't your problem. It doesn't affect you. Maybe this person just likes what they like, or maybe they're just using what they have, right? It doesn't really affect you. It does what another person is using doesn't affect any of us, right? We're all entitled to use whatever we feel is going to work for us. So again, why if you're that person who's a gun snob, you got a problem with people who use things that that you don't use, right? Unless you also use what someone else is using, then what they're using is trash. Like if you're that kind of person, why? What's the mindset? Do you think it's helping you? Do you think it's helping them? Do you think it's helping the community? That's a no, no, and no, all right? In my opinion, anyway. So that's really the bottom line is this kind of person does exist. It's not very many. This is not a majority. Most of us in the Second Amendment community, yeah, we fully stand by the whole live and let live situation. We're all having fun. We're all utilizing our Second Amendment rights. That's a good thing. Most of us are in that boat. There's some people out there who act like this though. It's like, oh, I run what I run. Anybody who doesn't run what I run is trash. Like what? That's not how the world works, all right? Um and so yeah, I just want to talk about that. That kind of person does exist. That is absolutely not helping the Second Amendment community. It's actually making things worse, in my opinion. So I want to rant about it. I don't like that kind of person. Obviously they're entitled to think how they want to think. But I wish, I would encourage those people to reconsider because, can't really be pro Second Amendment if you're actively working against the Second Amendment. So that's really all I'm going to say on that. Obviously, I could have went on for an hour. I try to keep these short. So just want to complain a little bit. That's the point of this series. This is not the series for, fact-based information. So I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye.